Hi, my name is Samson Itoje from Erimama Investment Company Limited. In the next few minutes, you will discover a little known method for defeating land grabbers in Lagos without spending a penny more in property security. The most powerful and effective way to save more money in a single year than you saved in the last 3 years and experience true freedom without taking on a second or third job. The top 2 things you absolutely must avoid if you want to become super wealthy through Lagos property investing. Rest assured, I wasn't always this go-to guy when it comes to Lagos property investing. In fact, I was the exact opposite. I remember the day I decided I will never encourage anyone to buy property from ancestral land owners, popularly called Omoniles in Lagos. I'm going to share the story with you now, even though you may not have experienced this personally. I think you need to know how devastating it can be when you buy property from fraudulent agents and Omoniles in Lagos, and how I discovered the stuff I'm about to share with you that has allowed me to own properties in Lagos that are secured against land grabbers in Lagos. I remember it was early Friday morning and I was scheduled to attend a management meeting in the multinational company where I worked at the time. It was a bright, peaceful morning and my meeting was scheduled for 11:30 a.m. However, I decided to leave home early to avoid the risk of getting stuck in the somewhat unpredictable Lagos traffic. And the reason I remember that is going to be really clear in just a moment. About 2 streets from my house, I stumbled on a scene, a heart-wrenching scene. A woman was sitting on the floor and concerned neighbors formed a circle around her. She was weeping profusely. I went closer to investigate. As I got closer, I saw she was soaked in water and was sitting in a pool of water. Apparently, she had fainted, and the neighbors hurriedly poured several bowls of water on her to bring her back to life. What was the problem? She bought a land on that street from a trusted ancestral landowner, an Omonile, about 6 years back when the area was scantily populated. She never visited the site again until this fateful day when she decided to start her building construction. She was shocked when she discovered the house was already erected on her land and the house was 100% occupied by tenants. She ran to the Omonile she bought the land from to seek support for battle against the unknown land grabber who built a house on her land. She was bewildered when she was told by the Omonile that he was the one who sold the land to the person who built on it. She was devastated. The bad news and the unbelievably brazen indifference with which it was delivered shook her to her foundation and she slumped. The good news is that the people around were able to revive her. However, watching her cry profusely over her loss and the fact that she came to start building her own house because her landlord had given her quick notice and she has to pack out in 3 months or be thrown out tore at my heart. She was devastated and I was devastated on her behalf even though I didn't know her personally. I could see the desperation in her eyes. Who will fight for this woman now? As I watched her cry in despair, tears rolled down my eyes. I guarantee you, if I had the power to reverse her pain, I would have done it right away, right there. I felt her pain. You know what? That one day caused my entire life to change. I vowed to research everything there is to know about Lagos property investment security so I do not end up suffering the same devastation that this woman suffered. And thanks to that turning point, I uncovered the secret formula, and it's one that works for just about anyone and works every time. Today, I'm going to share it with you and save you the hassles and years of effort it took me to hone this formula into perfection. So keep watching. This is a system that allows folks like you, real everyday men and women, to finally achieve prosperity and happiness in life and in the lives of those we love the most. An ultimate success when it comes to Lagos property investment security. Yes, I'll be covering the details of this discovery in just a moment. But first, I need to share the real problem potential Lagos property investors face today. This is the invisible villain behind the high rate of suffering common among employees after they retire, and it blocks Lagos property investing success. This is why refusal to invest because of fear of land grabbers in Lagos is not a personal fault of the potential investor. Although it is the investor's responsibility to learn what actions to take to ensure it doesn't happen to him, since we know it can happen. Lagos property investors have been lied to for years, and these lies are keeping them from achieving massive wealth growth through Lagos property investing. One of these lies is that Lagos property investors have to spend loads of cash on property security in order to defeat land grabbers and fraudulent Omoniles in Lagos. I bet you've heard that, or maybe even believed this at some point in your life. Yet, know what? That's not true at all. It's not even close to the truth. Just know this: millions of other smart men and women have fallen victim to this rather clever lie. Yet, we need to lay it aside right now. If you are one of the millions who fell victim to this lie, then you must decide now to believe the truth instead. Because if you don't, you will decline to invest every time you are given an opportunity to invest in Lagos properties. You may end up spending most of your income on liabilities that depreciate over time, or on investment options with far lower returns than Lagos properties. And eventually, no matter how big your salary and benefits, you risk becoming broke within 5 years after retirement. If you doubt what I'm saying, ask footballers who used to earn over $200,000 per month but who are now broke because their career ended. Listen, this is not what I want for you, and I know it's not what you desire for yourself. And this fear of land grabbers in Lagos is the reason your struggle with Lagos property investing is not your fault. Blaming the person in the mirror needs to stop. Deal? Let's replace that blame with some action-based responsibility. I tell folks, if you really want to blame something for your fear of land grabbers and Omoniles in Lagos, then do this. Put all the blame on mainstream media. Don't blame yourself. Think about it. For decades, we've been bombarded again and again with stories of landlords who lost their properties to land grabbers and Omoniles in Lagos. These stories, while true, may be misleading because they fail to highlight how small the number of people defrauded is compared to the number of successful Lagos property investors. The mainstream media know that bad news go viral and generates more money for them. Therefore, they are willing to leave out important facts from a story to increase circulation so they can make bigger profit. All that misinformation spread by the mainstream media is enough to confuse the smartest person alive. I know so many smart, savvy people who believe this lie. Okay, that was a ton of valuable information, and you may be feeling a bit unsure of where and how to get started, and that's fine. Basically, this means you have only two choices on where you go from here. Choice number one, take the information I just gave you and try to go at this alone. And who knows, you may get lucky and one day see some progress. It will take longer, of course, and you make a lot of painful mistakes. Then you can choose this. Or you can take choice number two, the smarter choice, the one really savvy men and women take to speed up their progress toward defeating land grabbers in Lagos and massively growing their wealth. Choice number two is the quickest, easiest, and smartest way possible to successfully defeat land grabbers and fraudulent Omoniles in Lagos without spending loads of cash on property security. Why risk failure and frustration trying to figure all of this out by yourself when I've done the hard work for you? There's no need to scratch your head in frustration, guessing your way around, because I've already created the ID system for you. One that has been tested for years by thousands of successful Lagos property investors and proven to work, guaranteed. Introducing the explosive 3-step plan to defeat land grabbers and Omoniles in Lagos. The explosive 3-step plan to defeat land grabbers and Omoniles in Lagos is the first lifestyle-friendly blueprint that empowers you to successfully defeat land grabbers and Omoniles in Lagos without spending loads of cash on property security. This radically simple yet effective Lagos property investment security blueprint will work for you even if you have never bought a property in Lagos before, you don't have millions of naira in your bank account, you don't know how to identify good property deals, you have lost money to land grabbers and Omoniles in the past, or even if you think you've tried everything. Take the case of Ruth, a professional who worked in a multinational company for 5 years without buying a single property. She was offered several opportunities to buy properties in Lagos, and she had the means to pay for the properties. but she declined to buy because her fear of land grabbers and Omoniles in Lagos was greater than her desire to invest. Eventually, she discovered my Lagos Realtor service, and I showed her my revolutionary blueprint for defeating land grabbers and fraudulent Omoniles in Lagos. Now she has over 10 properties in Lagos, thanks to my easy-to-use blueprint for defeating land grabbers and fraudulent Omoniles in Lagos. Now, let me share where to discover more about the exclusive 3-step plan to defeat land grabbers and Omoniles in Lagos. Just have a look below this video now. Click the link below this video in the description section of this video below to head over to the exclusive 3-step plan blueprint page. There you will discover the deal we have for you today just for watching this video. Thanks, and I'll see you there.